phone talk to Jim Mitchell. His family is the owner of Mitchell's Nursery on Dalton Road in Stokes County, and they've been there since the late 1990s. And they have a tremendous reputation for growing and selling and marketing poinsettia. Jim, tell us about getting started in this particular flower for Christmas and how that came about, if you will.
Actually, the beginning of the poinsettia here in the United States, Joel Poinsett was an ambassador to Mexico in the late 1800s, 19th century, and he had seen these growing as wildflowers there in Mexico and brought one back with him. Brought it to his greenhouse, actually in South Carolina at that time, and was started growing some. Just saw the pretty color in it and that type thing, and it went from there. There are breeders these days that come out with new varieties, new colors, new growth habits every year. So it's become a real interesting plant to grow.
How many different colors do you have there at Mitchell's Nursery?
Color-wise, there's a kind of a limited number of colors. We do actually have about 84 different types.
Wow.
We have about 30 reds that are all a pretty red color. They have different shapes in the bracts or the petals of the bloom. Some are a dark red, some a lighter red. It's just a lot of variation in the different red varieties. But then we have pinks, whites, and all sorts of novelties that are totally different as they bloom. Different colors, different shapes in the petals of the bloom, and makes it real interesting.
Jim Mitchell, is it? Are you known for that Christmas poinsettia, or give us a little idea of the movement in it, and do you like that reputation of being the place to go for that particular flower at Christmas?
I really do. We have really come to enjoy growing them. My wife and I grew the first ones in 1996, just a few hundred that year, reds, pinks, whites. And since that time, the last 17, 18 years, we've grown more and more as a nursery greenhouse operation that helps the breeders with the testing of new poinsettia varieties.
What does that mean? I said poinsettia. What's the correct pronunciation?
It depends on a lot where you're from. Okay. We have kind of that accent through the South, the poinsettia, and if you're up from the north, most of the people tell me up there it's poinsettia. So just...
Okay, so is there a favorite for buyers here in our area?
Generally, half the people, 50% probably, is the standard red of one shade or another. I've got one that I really like. It's called the mouse ears. It's got the pretty red color, but the bract or the petals of the bloom are rounded on the ends instead of pointed. And then there's one called Orange Glow that for Thanksgiving, of course that season has passed, but it's a real pretty orangey color that for a fall color and leading into Christmas is real pretty. So, yeah.
Jim and Judy Mitchell and their son Jay own Mitchell's Nursery on Dalton Road in Stokes County, and they're significant friends of WIFM, and I just today wanted for us to talk about in depth about. Tell us about the poinsettia now. The maintenance of it. After you buy it and take it home and to get the length. Tell us about that, Jim.
Okay, poinsettias, kind of like any plant, need a little bit of sunlight and mostly water after you get them home. When you buy them from the greenhouse this time of year, they are to the point they're kind of a mature plant, so they don't have to have an awful lot of sunlight at this stage. The main issue is going to be water, If you water it every day with that cup of water, within just a couple weeks, it'll be a dead, drowning plant. What I have found to be about the best way to water is like in a 6.5-inch pot, the standard size poinsettia. If you'll put about a cup and a half to 2 cups of water on that plant once a week, it'll do real well on up through Valentine's Day and February 1st of March. These new varieties hold a lot better color for longer times than the ones from 20 and 30 years ago. So,
Jim Mitchell, you spoke shortly there a moment or two ago about breeders and developers and those that are searching for that magic, I guess. Your relationship with those developers, tell us how do you develop that, and what role do you play in helping these people that are developing, I guess, unique varieties of poinsettia?
In the last several years, we've taken on a issue of with the initial growing of new introductions. Each year we'll have several varieties or different types of poinsettias that will have a number assigned to them while they are in the lab or in the testing stages. We will grow just a few of each of those varieties where the breeders send us cuttings and help grow with that initial growing season to see how they do. A lot of the times the breeders will send by one of their representatives to look and see how those plants are growing. We are one of just a few in the United States and Canada that the breeders actually send cuttings like that to help with the test growing. So that keeps it really interesting. That's the part I think I enjoy the most in the last 15 or so years.
So, Jim Mitchell, you've developed a relationship with these folks that they know that the tender loving care that the plant requires to develop, that Mitchell's Nursery will be right at the top of the list of those that are trustworthy to do the right thing for the breeders. Is that right?
That's the way it works, yep. We are not interested in actually taking that plant and making breeds of our own, but we do assist the breeders in the testing of them, and that's a lot of fun.
Now, do you actually do your own cuttings at Mitchell's Nursery? Do you do from start to finish with these that you're marketing today?
We actually get in rooted cuttings.
Okay.
Most of your poinsettias and a lot of your greenhouse plants now are patented, and you'd have to keep the parent plants and pay a royalty on each plant that you propagated from that parent and all that. So, yeah.
Okay. Jim and Judy Mitchell are friends and Jay of WIFM, and we're just grateful to be able to pick up the phone and talk to the folks that do it extremely well. Are there any other unique moments about growing them that maybe you could share with our listener today if he's thinking about you want to come down on Dalton Road and continue to buy? Will you have them right up till Christmas Eve, Jim, and pass?
We generally will have a few left on up till, about the 23rd of December. The main issue with them now is about the water, not to get them too wet, but keep them moist, and not to let them sit close to heat vents. If you've got heat in an area close to where that plant sits, it'll be under some stress, and that can hurt it too. So,
you mentioned an orange color. Do you have describe again that plant that you are just so fond, Jim Mitchell? Tell us again about it, and what is it that you love about it?
I love the vibrant color. It's a bright orange. The actual name of it is Orange Glow. And the bracts or the flower on that are just the prettiest, brightest color that there is, I think. And it's different. I like different stuff, new products from time to time. So,
well, you sure are a blessing to WIFM, and I'm